Welcome to Different Roots Radio. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're joined by the fantastic ladies behind Golden Ear Cheesecrafters, all the way from Maple Ridge, BC. So props to Canada for showing up. They are the fifth generation dairy farmers, and they distribute in farmers markets, retailers, and restaurants. So we're very lucky to have both Emma and Jenna, both sisters, running the business and coming to us today. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
No worries. It's Emma and Jenna, but if you put us both together, it's just Gemma altogether. So Gemma. We actually named a cheese after that because people always mix up our names. They call her Emma and me Jenna. They rhyme, so we don't know what our parents were thinking.
So what's the cheese called?
Gemma.
Oh,
Gemma.
How do you spell it?
Like
Gemma.
Yeah, just the way it's.
Because I was looking on your website, so you have all kinds of funny cheeses and fancy cheeses. Got brie, all the ones known. But then I saw one called Charmizan.
Charmizan.
Is that a real cheese? Like no, yeah, like not Parmesan. Yeah. Charmizan. Like, you know, if we had a cheese, we'd be very charming. So they would like.
Oh, Charmizan.
Charmizan. Yeah. So is that a real cheese, or did you make that? Did you make it up?
Yeah, it's a cheese we make. We made it up out of a mistake one day. It was like a cheddar and Parmesan kind of got mixed into one and made something new.
Oh, nice.
You can't actually have like a true Parmigiano Reggiano is from that region. Like it's not, you can't actually make it here. And Parmesan is something that's actually been coined by like Kraft, where it's like that cellulose powder. So it's not actually real proper cheese. It's a lot of fillers and additives. So ours is, yeah, it's not Parmesan. It's not Parmigiano Reggiano because we're not there, but it's Charmizan. So it's a cross between a cheddar and a Parmigiano Reggiano style.
So they experimented a little and came up with something good.
Whipping up in the kitchen. Who comes up with these ideas? Or as you said, it was an accident, but how?
I do. Yeah, I do the cheese making side of things, and then Emma does all the sales. So I come up with all of our recipes. We have a cheese making team, and we pump out whatever we think our customers are wanting, pretty much.
And you guys started out in 2011, is that right? So
yeah.
How did you guys essentially come out from the dairy side of business to then decide, let's go into the cheese element of dairy products? How did your family take that, and why did you guys do that kind of shift?
Yeah, so our families, we have lots of dairy farming in our roots, being fifth generation on the land that we are, but the existing dairy farm that's next door, that was the kind of the last piece of our family heritage in the area, is owned by our uncle. We're right next door to them, but we wanted to do something that was kind of incorporating that heritage and that what we're known for in the area, which is obviously producing milk. But the thing is that Jenna and I were actually never involved in the farm at all. And technically we still aren't, but Jenna was actually going into horticulture and agriculture. So she gave up her career in studying basically crop consulting, what she was doing. And I was going into nursing at the time. And that was when our parents had kind of fostered this idea and said, hey, you know, what if we help you out and we walk you guys through this process of starting a business together? And at first, both of us were like, hard pass. We're night and day personalities. I'm brunette, she's blonde. We could not be further from each other. But it actually has worked out best. I couldn't ask for a better business partner. So when we came together and started to grow this business, it was very even. We have the same goals, but it's really kind of easy to separate who does what and how we do things. So taking it to a cheese perspective was something important for both of us, because Jenna ended up going and studying cheese making. She did an apprenticeship locally here in a nearby town from a very well-known cheesemaker. And then I quickly switched over and switched gears into business and marketing. And here we are, almost 10 years later. Or I guess 10 years later. Wow.
Yeah, 10 years is there.
When's your anniversary?
It'll be August 1st is technically the first day we made cheese in our facility.
Of course. So
so happy anniversary in advance. So
thank you.
So do you guys still, because everyone knows, like, you know, good cheeses, they got to mature for a while. Do you guys still have that first block of cheese that you guys made on that first week, and you guys gonna crack it open like it's wedding
not. The oldest cheese we have right now is a 5-year cheddar. It is really hard to age cheeses if you haven't done it really before for a really long time. There is a lot of, it's called cheese affinage, which is like the care of cheese as it ages. And even getting something up to 5 years is just a lot of work. Like we flip the cheese once every 2 weeks, and it's a 5-kilo wheel. And in that batch, you'll have 30 wheels. So like right now, I think we have close to 6,000 wheels of cheese aging, but they're all different types of cheeses, all different life cycles, and trying to keep up with what customers want. When we have a 5-year aged cheese, it sells out. We can't keep it on the shelf because everybody wants it. More seasonal and say, hey, this is available now because we've got to that. But trying to hold cheese back to try and age really long is very hard to do.
Supply and demand.
Yeah.
I used to be a wine broker, and they do the same thing with wine. But it has to be at a certain temperature, and it has to be the right humidity. And there's a lot of you got to keep wine in your cellar. You have to store it in the right temperature. And people actually pay to store your wine for you. So you guys just do that all by yourselves. You have like a big calendar, and you know it's Tuesday the 5th, and we have to flip this batch of cheese today. Or how do you keep track of it all?
It's pretty much like a big calendar. We do yearly planning and try to make sure that we don't miss anything. So yeah, it comes, we call it cheese chores. It's part of our daily cleaning, affinage, packaging, all that kind of stuff.
And it is exactly what you said. It's kind of to a science where it's, you have to, like Jenna has to keep a very close monitor every single day of the humidity, the temperature, the amount of airflow that's going into the room in general. And then she has to go and assess those cheeses. And depending, because milk, when you're making cheese, is always different. It's never the exact same product. Kind of like how in a bakery, if you were to talk to anybody that made bread, anytime that they make bread in the summer, they're going to be kneading at a different speed and in a different volume than they would be in the winter, because the humidity is different and the temperature is different. So your product is constantly changing. So with milk, depending on what the cows are eating even throughout the year, it will change the composition of the milk. So when it comes down to it, you know, that 4-year point, Jenna will go in and take a look at cheeses, and she's like, why is this cheese sweating? We're going to need to adjust the temperature, adjust the humidity. We need to somehow modify the environment to doing what we want to, because it is a living, growing bacteria, right? It's kind of like feeding a yeast every day for sourdough.
I knew you were going to say sourdough. Everyone's been sourdough in lockdown.
But that's the thing, is that it's never going to be the same every single day. You can't just keep doing the same thing like clockwork. You have to see it, reassess, and then make a plan from there. And that's very much how cheese making is. So we're lucky that Jenna is she's very intuitive that way, and she's very proud of like what she can create. So being able to walk in and assess something and say like, oh yes, I recognize this, or even something that's, you know, a challenge that we've never even tackled before. So she needs to come up with 3 or 4 different ways that we can attempt and just start hitting, you know, trial number 1, trial number 2, all of these different plans until, you know, she sorts out how we can keep that cheese in inventory without it turning into something that we don't want it to be, and then we need to all of a sudden move it to sale.
So it's a bit like horticulture or gardening. You have to, it's like a living, breathing thing. Mm-hmm. Look after the plants. Hence horticulture.
That's why she loves it.
Yeah. So do you see a crossover? Do you feel like, do you sing or play music to your cheese? Or do you talk to your cheese? Because I know people who talk to their plants and play music to them and things.
No, I'm not quite at that stage. I don't sing or talk to my cheese. We listen to music. Well, I guess sometimes we sing, like if we're making cheese and there's good music on. But no, we don't do anything really special. Cheese making is kind of like an art. You start with your milk in the morning, And by the end of the day, you see this fantastic product that technically you can eat all through the entire process. And just seeing that result of something that you created at the end of the day is really quite rewarding. And I'd say that's probably where like the love and the passion come through it. It's art, but it's also science at the same time.
And definitely a labor of love. Like we have people come in all the time and say, oh, I'd love to come in and I'd love to be a cheesemaker, you know, and they look at this young mom and they're like, oh yeah, if she can do it, I can do it. But it's like, you're in there and it is extremely physical labor all day long. It's not this, people kind of romanticize like, oh, I would love to be a cheesemaker, you know, and they think that Jenna walks around with her team and they sprinkle this here and they stir that over here and then they bring over these little like cake pan molds and pour it all in gently. It is the opposite. It is like you're lugging 50-pound buckets and, you know, 10-kilo wheels around a room all day long for 12 hours. And it is extremely physical labor. So we even do what's called a 2-week working interview where we have people that come in and if they say they want to be a cheesemaker, we kind of put them through the ringer for the first 2 weeks. And at the end of 2 weeks, they made it through and they're like, yeah, this is something that I still want to do. It is truly a labor of love. So as much as Jenna gets to enjoy, you know, seeing at the end of the day that finished product and getting to modify and tweak her recipes as she sees fit or as they need to be, it's still extremely physical and very tolling on the body.
I guess there's a lot of highs to making cheese and, you know, getting recognized for your hard work and your contributions. Other than the awards, what other highlights do you guys have of having this business to your name or starting this business? What are like common things that you really enjoy about the business?
We love it when our customers and clients want to do things like private labels. That's something where we really kind of get to go out of our comfort zone a little bit and get creative with them. So we do have chefs every now and then that will come in and say, oh, I'd love to put this on my amenities list at this hotel. Is there something that we can do that would just be for us? So for example, the Four Seasons in Vancouver, which is now no longer there, unfortunately, they did not renew their lease. But the chef that was there at the time came to us and said, we'd love to do something. We want our own cheese with our own label. So we created something called the U Velvet Blue, and that was right around a time that Jenna was kind of creating this new recipe. So it was perfect timing, and we got to create a label for them, and we were kind of toying with a couple different ways of making it. And then we were able to take that cheese then, after they were done using it as a private label, and push it out through other avenues and kind of picking it up. Oh, I've recognized this cheese before. Oh, I've seen this cheese at that hotel at the Four Seasons. Or, oh, it was in my room on my amenities tray. So lots of connection, I would say, with different chefs, which we love. We're going to go out for dinner on Saturday night, and we're probably going to go see one of our customers, which is always nice because they love to see our face, and we love to go and, you know, have dinner with whatever they're using our products for. They're creating wonderful, wonderful things. So
and I heard that you guys also have like dinner classes that have cheese-based meals. Like other than poutine and other than like lasagna, what kind of stuff could people expect to have or make?
You're saying poutine with just a tiny bit of like judgmental twang there. Is that like a Canadian? Do you guys have poutine there?
Oh, I love poutine.
It's delicious. Well, when you come our kitchen, we do serve like poutine, mac and cheese, obviously sandwiches, which are pretty killer. The classic like grilled cheese sandwich with a tomato soup to dip it in. But our dinner classes that we normally do, we have at the moment, obviously we're not doing any because of COVID, and we haven't quite figured out how to massage all of that with COVID. But normally it's usually a 3 or 4 course dinner. It's seated, so it's a demonstration class, but we have chefs from all over the Lower Mainland that will come in and teach a class that evening, whether it be, you know, a totally plant-based class sometimes, or you know, like a full Greek lamb dinner. And they'll go through each course and you kind of watch the chef as they're cooking. It's not participatory. But you get to try an amazing meal and learn new things and like ask the chef all kinds of questions. So we've had some really wonderful chefs come in and do our classes, but we're looking forward to having them again when we're able to.
I've been for a long time, until about 4 years ago, I was a carnivore, so I really like loads of meat.
Until 4 years ago.
Until 4 years ago, I was a carnivore.
You're a vegetarian now.
No way, I just eat everything now. But before I used to strictly eat a lot of meat, not too many vegetables. But now everyone's like, the rise of veganism, and everyone's like, oh my God, you still eat meat? That's why I used to get a lot. Oh, you eat meat burgers? So I've been trying like these vegan burgers, Beyond Meat. I had my Beyond Meat burger, the first one this evening. It was quite good. It tasted really meaty. I've had them before, but not Beyond Meat. It was quite interesting. But do you get people asking for vegan cheese, and do you make vegan cheese? And also, I googled it, and it sounds nasty because it's like nuts, soy, like
it's not natural.
Plant roots. Like that's not stuff I want to. But do you make it? And do a lot of people ask about vegan cheese? And what do you think about it?
We don't make any vegan cheeses. There's a local vegan cheesemaker that we really, really love. It's called Blue Heron, and she's out of Vancouver, and she's the only cheesemaker that makes cheese, in my opinion, out of something that is not an animal byproduct. And she does, like, down to the science, cultures. She does what we do, but with different, like, nut milks and things, and she does a really excellent job. So we direct people to her as much as possible. If they're looking for a vegan option, she's definitely got the best. But other than that, we get asked that all the time. Like at least once a week, someone's sending a message asking, are you going to be doing a vegan cheese, or have you ever considered doing a vegan cheese? At this time, no. Again, because we wouldn't be able to be a nut-free manufacturing facility and doing nut milks as well. And soy is not something that we want to introduce into the facility either.
Have you considered a partnership?
Do get lots of questions. Pardon me, sorry?
Have you considered a partnership with the lady down the road who you said makes the best vegan cheese?
Oh, we would definitely bring in her products to sell in our shop. And we have had a couple different vegan cheese companies that we have sold for people that are just kind of curious and they want to try it, and that's totally okay. And we encourage that because everything in moderation. We're very much, our entire company is very much built on the focus of eating as locally as possible and using things that come from small farms and being able to talk to the farmer or ask, what's in the product or how it's made. So we actually have a giant window in our retail store where people can come in and stand there and watch your cheese being made. So it's very transparent. So we definitely encourage people to do things like Meatless Mondays and try and be more cognizant of how often you're eating it, how much you're eating of it. So those are all things that we very much have a firm foundation and a belief in our business that everything in moderation, and nothing is bad for the body, but in excess, and supporting maybe companies that don't do things right, or that aren't concerned about animal welfare, or that aren't considering the economic impact of their business or the food that they're producing. That's something that we want people to stop and think about.
Amen. Preach. I like that very much. It's important.
So if we were to speak into the future, where do you see Golden Ears being 10 years time from now? How big do you guys hope to be, and what it's going to be different from now to then?
I don't know. I don't know if we want to grow our facility in a way where we are too big. We like being in that small business size. We run a staff of about 20-ish people, sometimes in the summertime about 25. We like that size. We could be in 10 years making cheese close to 6 or 7 days a week. We have that the opportunity to be able to do that as long as there's a demand for our product. But maybe in 10 years, the quality of cheese is just coming out and being absolutely incredible. Hopefully, like, tourism grows even, because COVID kind of put a wrench in that one.
Yeah, this year at least.
Yeah,
I'm with Jenna. It's very, I think we're very aligned that way, that doing something is fun, but doing something well is even fun. So with a lot of the things that we're doing now, a lot of the stuff that we've done in the last 10 years has been trial and error. So now we're at the kind of opportunity where we're 10 years old. We've tried a lot of things that didn't work. We've tried some things that we're like, yeah, that's something that we really want to keep doing. right now we have an incredibly solid staff team, and it's taken so long to get there and to find the right people to be in the right positions and to keep them there and get them emotionally and passionately involved in the business and invested. So we're at that pivotal point now where I think that we're really trying to massage what we're doing, maybe another retail location later on down the road, definitely expanding our physical facility now, the building itself, because when you build something, people always say they never build it big enough. That's true. We have a restaurant avenue that we have in the shop as well. We have a small country kitchen where we have a chef that cooks meals daily. Maybe evolving that a little bit more, evolving more of the store to make it more of a full food shop, bring in produce. We don't do any produce at the moment because it's so fresh and hard to keep tabs on. But yeah, there's lots of things that we could, small changes. I don't see any massive changes in the next 10 years, and definitely not expanding too much further than we are now, but just kind of growing in what we have now and making it really solid. Because the next 10 years after this coming 10 years, that's going to be the point where we're ready to kind of maybe pass the business on or start retiring, or, you know, maybe get our staff involved in a shareholder program where they can have shares in the company and they're even more invested. So that's the next 10 years.
Kids are running it.
Or our kids are running it. Can you imagine your daughter? Oh my goodness, she'd be excellent.
Do you your distribution, do you do nationally or globally? Do you just like when people order some cheese?
We are provincially, actually. So we sell inside of BC because of how our food regulations go. We are only a provincially licensed plant, not a nationally licensed plant. So we try to just keep our sales in BC as much as possible. Growing to be outside of BC would be potentially something we would like to do. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. You know what time it is?
Game show time.
Game show time. All right. So on today's show, I'm gonna ask some questions. It's gonna be like facts and myths about cheese, because this is, we know that some of us love cheese more than others. I'm not gonna say who is the real cheese connoisseur here. So we'll do golden ears versus Timay.
This is so unfair.
Yeah.
But let's go.
It's honestly, we're terrible with our cheese knowledge about our cheese, and that's basically it.
Well, don't worry. It's going to be interesting facts. If you learn something here today, so be it. All right. So, which of these is known as the dairy state in U.S.? So, is it California, Idaho, New York, Wisconsin, or Texas?
Wisconsin or Idaho?
Wisconsin or Idaho.
Yeah.
The question is one.
I know, but I want to cover my base. Okay, Idaho.
Idaho? Who the ho?
Whiskers, you're the ho. Wisconsin, final answer.
All right, and for golden ears, what do you guys say?
Wisconsin.
Yes.
I know if they say it, they're right. So
I have the cheese head hat from Wisconsin.
Is that
Green Bay Packers?
No.
That's
not.
Packers.
Okay, but do you actually have a cheese at that?
Yeah, my husband went to a Green Bay game and brought me back a cheese hat.
Yeah, only makes sense.
All right.
So what does it mean to be illegal cheese? Like what do you have to do for cheese to be illegal in US? So you know how sometimes they say, this is so good, it must be illegal? There's such a thing.
It's illegal cheese.
Yeah. So should we ask the ladies?
Yeah, let's ask the ladies first, because I have.
What is one key thing?
Maybe if it's underage cheese or something, I don't know. But
underage by what though? Okay, it's a factor. Cheese has multiple factors that go into it.
I will say my answer, which I have no idea. If cheese is if it's too young, then it's illegal. So it can't be under 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old, okay. I made that up, so let's see.
Yeah. We need some clarification on this question. In the US or in Canada?
These are US stats. So, but you can educate us on what it means to be illegal cheese in Canada afterward.
In the US, is it going to have to do something with the ingredient that's in it,
Yes.
or what it's made with?
Yes, that's one factor. So you said age and you said ingredient. And guess who's right?
I'm guessing the cheese professionals.
Well, actually, technically, you're both right. So, yes, if the cheese is aged younger than 60 days, it's considered legal. Plus, if it's made with raw milk, also.
Yes, it has to be. Yeah.
Knowledge.
So
that's also that's also a regulation in Canada. If it's raw milk, it has to age for a minimum of 60 days before it can be sold.
Nice.
Oh,
So read the label and make sure it's aged longer than 60 days. Otherwise, that's some criminal cheese you're eating. All right. So which of these cheeses are named after a city? So we got Brie, Gouda, Parmesan, and Cheddar.
Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Yeah.
Okay. Just that one? Oh, wait. And Golden Ears?
You said Brie. Cheddar is a city.
Damn it.
Gouda and Parmesan.
I guess Gouda.
Gouda is also a city. Gouda.
No, but I don't think it's named after a city because the Germans and
right, because there was a fight.
Yeah, so Germany and Holland always fight over it.
Is this a single multiple choice question? Like, oh, there's only one, right?
Yeah, or it could be a trick question. It could be more than one. It could be one. It could be none. This is not supposed to be easy.
I think it's none.
Well, cheddar is cheddar.
I think they're all named after cities.
Oh, how did you go from
Brie?
all?
Well, I just think.
Parmigiano Reggiano is a region.
That's not a city; it's a region.
Oh.
Oh, this is
this
is too tricky.
How technical?
No, this is deep. All right, let me end.
Okay, we know cheddar for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheddar for sure. All right. So the answer is, drum roll please. They are all cities. They're all named after the city. So
I got one.
So
they're all cities.
The thing about cheese is like some cheeses have they have capital letters. So if it has a capital letter, then it's named after a city. So not all cheeses are like that, but the ones that are listed, they all should be listed as a capital letter. So yeah. All right, and then just to make it an international question to widen the scope a little, is where is the largest distributor of cheese in the world? So we have a $70 billion industry. Who exports the most cheese? So it could be Europe, it could be...
Oh, so continent or...
No, country.
Well, Europe isn't a country, is it?
Yeah, it could be in. Did you know?
It could be in Europe.
It could be in Europe, could be in America, North America. So...
You ladies go first.
Yes.
I keep giving you the answers.
Oh, you want us?
Yes.
I believe it's Europe.
Well, no, we need to pick a country.
Country.
Well, I don't know. We don't trade with the country. We trade with the UA.
That's right.
The EU, sorry.
I want to say...
I think France.
Exports?
Exports, yes.
Exports the most.
Yes.
I think it's
France.
I was going to go with Switzerland, but France is quite... I'm going to go with Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland.
All right. So out of those two, you guys, sorry to say, but you're both wrong. It's actually Germany that exports the most.
Oh, really?
See, and I was going to say
I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, so they export $4.6 billion worth of cheese. Then it goes Netherlands, 4.2,
Netherlands,
Italy, 3.6, then France, 3.5 billion.
Oh, so, Italy's more than France. I'm actually not surprised by that.
Yeah, so
France keeps their good cheese in France, that's why.
That's smart.
Too good for you.
Yeah, all that good wine and the good cheese, they're like, we're going to hold this back. You guys can have everything else.
Yeah. So,
yeah, they consume too much in France to be able to export, I guess.
True. So, as it stands now, that the cheese industry is worth to be a $70 billion industry, and then it's looking to grow 60% in the next 15 years. So it'll
Invest in stocks. We're taking on financial investors.
Right. So yeah. So according to Statistica, you guys could probably be evaluated 6% more in by 2035. So if you're in par with the industry, invest now. This is it. You're absolutely right.
That would be excellent.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for playing our game. There's no winner because we're all winners here today.
we all learn, and knowledge makes us
Knowledge is
winners.
power.
Knowledge
Yes.
is power.
All right. So we'd like to give this time to you ladies to be able to give us words of wisdom. So essentially speaking to your younger selves or to budding entrepreneurs or future cheesemakers, young or old, and speak from the heart and let them know what it is you hope to bestow onto them.
I would say to my younger self to trust the employees I hire and learn to give them more responsibility and tasks, and that I can't do everything on my own, and that they have valuable talents that can be utilized, and try to find those talents in those people you hire. So I'd say, yeah, that's what I would tell myself.
What I would tell my younger self going into business now is to never underestimate systems and procedures and policies. You have to have them in place before you can put people in place to take over and run your company. And putting your faith in those people with those policies and procedures is what's going to carry your business even without you and when you're not there. So you need to be very cognizant of what's happening all the time. When you have issues that come up, those policies and procedures are going to save you in your business, and it'll run flawlessly without you there. So yeah, trust the policies and procedures and put them in place.
Thank you very much, ladies, for coming in and being able to bestow some cheesy knowledge onto us and allowing us to get a part of the process and see behind the scenes. If our listeners are able to get in touch with you or your business, how would they be able to do so? What are your social media handles, or what are the best ways to reach out to you?
Yeah, if you'd like to get in touch with us at GoldenEarsCheesecrafters, we have a website, cheesecrafters.ca. Also, our Instagram and our Facebook is both GoldenEarsCheesecrafters, straight over. So otherwise, Jenna is on Instagram as well. You can find our little handles underneath our business tags and follow along with our day-to-day life as well, which is lots of fun. So
Awesome.
Nice. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to see what's in store for you guys and getting the next batch of well-fined artisan cheese.
yeah, and if you're ever in the area, please come visit and come for a tour in the cheese caves.
Yeah, in the cheese caves.
The cheese
Yeah.
caves.
All right.
Try some of this aged cheese.
All right.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Different Roots Radio on YouTube, Twitter, and other channels. Our talks air on Monday every fortnight. One love.
Peace.